Right, folks, back with a let's discuss. So, yeah. Anyway, Everton played Crystal Palace last night, and Crystal Palace were winning 2-0, and Everton was in a battle of their lives. Bit of a silly, really, saying that, isn't it? Battle of their lives, but they were in a relegation battle. And they needed to win to be safe for the last day of the season, which is quite remarkable, really, because the club that spent like £500 million in the last so many years to be struggling like that is not really very good. And I can understand the fans' frustration. I can also understand their relief last night. Now, as far as I can see, I've seen a clip of it on the news this morning. I've not caught up with the football. Patrick Vieira, the legend that Patrick Vieira is. I hide no fact that during the Patrick Vieira days at Arsenal with Ian Wright and Bergkamp and Tony Adams and all them, I really, really enjoyed watching Arsenal. You know, I was really chuffed when they won the leagues and stuff like that and the FA Cups, and I like the way they just played. And that's it. But Patrick Vieira was walking across the pitch last night to the changing rooms. Now, I think at Everton, the changing rooms, the away changing rooms, are on the other side of the pitch. Now, I'm hoping this is for some building work or maintenance work or something like that. I'm hoping that it's not down to COVID, because if it is down to COVID and they're allowing all this to happen in the ground, I don't understand that. I've been Everton a couple of times, and as far as I know, both changing rooms are on the same side of the pitch. In fact, I went to Everton once, and I was standing in the away end, and Gary Lineker was kicking the ball before the game in the warm-up, and the ball came over into the pen, into the bit where we were standing. I caught it and kicked it back at him. Something I'm not fucking proud of. It landed to him. I didn't kick it at him, I kicked it at him as a pass. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, so Vieira's walking across the pitch in some fucking scally, as they call him in Liverpool. Thought it was a brilliant idea to be up at Vieira's face. There's actual footage out on the internet as well of the camera work of this fucking idiot being in Vieira's face and then telling him quite promptly to fuck off. Now, Vieira was at work. He was at work. He was walking across the pitch at the place of work. There was no need for fans to be on the pitch. Granted, they'd stayed up. They felt the need to celebrate with the relief. I totally understand that. I have done that with Leicester. In the old days on Filbert Street, I used to celebrate when we'd go up. If we went down, you'd still fucking go on and, like, you know, because it's what happens at the end of the season. But I can honestly say, no time that I ever did a pitch or was part of a pitch invasion, I caused trouble. Even when Leicester fans went onto the pitch against Coventry that time, I got caught up in it. I think I was only about 14 or 15, got dragged onto the pitch, got caught up in the mayhem, and then I got through quite promptly, got through back into the ground by a steward, which was the right thing to do. I didn't mean to actually get on the pitch that time. I just got fucking caught up in the mayhem. But I never actually went and assaulted anybody or intimidated or provoked or whatever. Now, I'm all for free speech and protest and all this, but this was just downright goading. This was just getting in somebody's face just for the sake of it. You've won fuck all season, you've stayed up by the skin of your teeth, and you basically decide to have a go at the manager of the opposition in your last game. You've took your chance, you've had a go. The only other thing is that you got put on your arse and made you look a fucking idiot. The idiot that you are for doing that. If that was my kid who had done that, if I found out that it was my kid that had been onto the pitch and done what they had done, I would basically be getting in touch with the local media and making my son apologise to Patrick Vieira and Everton Football Club and Everton fans, because there is no fucking need for it. They'll probably come out with some excuse he's got mental issues or mental health problems, which is not good enough in my book. It just gets used all the while. They've got something wrong. No, you don't do that. I don't care if you have got some kind of issues. If you've got the issues of that you can, if you've got the attitude that you can go on there with the camera and provoke somebody, it's wrong. You know exactly what you're doing. It's just wrong, and people will turn around and say, "Oh, it's banter." It's not fucking banter. It's not banter. Patrick Vieira is one of the hardest men in football, right? Along with Roy Keane, and that in my day, they were one of the hardest players going. Dirty, get stuck in, leave a boot in, tough tackle, fair tackle, any kind of tackle. Yeah. So in one ways, the lad was quite brave. Or obviously, he was that fucking stupid. He didn't realise that Vieira was going to do what he did. Now, Vieira's still a big fucking man. Back in his, I mean, how old is Vieira? He's got to be in his fucking 50s, touching his late 40s, 50s. So this fan was pretty either stupid that he didn't know Vieira's history, or just stupid anyway. I'll go for just stupid anyway. But to keep going up now and say, oh, it was just banter, it's just a bit of fun, blah, blah, it's no fucking longer a deal. And I just don't see why the need to do this. I just don't understand it. But the other thing as well is, another thing that you think was like, yeah, he's doing all this, he's in Vieira's face, and then when Vieira has a go, Everton fans crowd round him and start pushing Vieira as if Vieira's done wrong, as if Vieira's actually in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and so was that fan. But the brilliant, funny thing about it is that they all went round Vieira, and none of them fucking did anything to him. I think one pushed him, and Vieira went back. No, I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, and I'm not saying it's the fucking wrong thing to do. But Vieira will defend himself, you can see it. And all you fucking football fans who, when that lad was trying to pick himself up off the floor after Vieira had put him down, all the other fans came round and did that silly fucking bouncing dance, didn't they? As if they're going to have a fucking go. And then there were two fat fuckers who came in with bald heads, who with the Everton shirts on, who, like, I don't know what they were trying to do, because it was just unbelievable. Why did the fans go to protect the fan? Why not? Did they not just like... Perhaps they did try to do it. You could turn around and say this is the steward's fault. But if you've got, like, I don't know how many Everton holds, but if you've got 20,000 fans or 10,000, 5,000 fans that want to get on that pitch, they'll get on. It doesn't matter how many stewards you've got, unless you've got stewards with cattle prods. Mind you, that might fucking come in one day, the way the world's going. So I don't think you can really blame the stewards on this. Stewards, what do they get? A fucking free burger and a packet of fucking crisps and a pint or something during the game as payment, because clubs are too fucking tight to pay out. But when you coast back, just the other day, Billy Sharp, who plays, and he was headbutted by a Forest fan. He just went up for him. I've actually copied and pasted. Biggs, whoever, I didn't get his first name, I'm not interested in his first name, whose solicitor told the court had drunk a quantity of alcohol at a pub before the match and had collided with the fucking ex-Forest striker Sharp, rather than targeting him. So he's got a whole football pitch, he's got probably fucking 3,000-4,000 fans on the pitch, and he happened to collide with Sharp. What a complete fucking dick. And he targets him, claimed he and his girlfriend would not be able to keep up monthly mortgage repayments if he was jailed. And what? This is the problem. People seem to think that because I've got a mortgage and a family, I can do things and get away with them. You can't, and this lad's going to be the same. The thing as well is now, Chris Rock and Will Smith, I'm going to keep coming back to this, Chris Rock and Will Smith. They've started most of this as well now, because people seem to think you can do things and get away with it. What that lad did to Sharp, that Biggs, who's not so fucking Biggs now, is it? This should happen to this fucking lad as well, who happened to be at Everton. Now, granted, waving a phone in somebody's face is nowhere near as being charged at with a headbutt, but it's still getting there, and it needs to be fucking stamped on now. It needs to be sorted so this doesn't happen again. Fed up with stupid excuses. You can't jail everyone who goes onto the football pitch, but when people do things like this and there's video evidence, then this is what needs to be done. We need to be sending these fucking idiots, right? There's one thing they're going up to if Leicester won the cup, if Leicester got through to the cup final and somebody ran on the pitch and hugged fucking Vardy and said, well done, completely fucking different to a headbutt. It's completely different to being goaded and provoking a reaction. Fed up with stupid excuses. You ain't going to jail everybody who goes onto the pitch, but you've got to start fucking doing the crime. You've got to start doing the punishment for the crime. It's got to be done. And personally, I think now, things like this, players assaulted on a pitch, goaded like this, I'd say you deduct points from the fucking club. 6, 9 points from a club. Take the fucking points off the club. You got Everton now and they lost 6 points. Just because of some stupid fucking arsehole thinking he's got the right to go up to another person who's at work. If somebody worked in fucking, I don't know, Boots or Superdrug or Tesco's and you went up and started shouting and bawling in the face while at work, is that acceptable? No, just because it's Patrick Vieira, it's not fucking acceptable. The law should come in, and I propose this now to the FA, a law should come in. A football fan does this, assault, 12 points, and then you work your way down to this. This, what I seen yesterday, and the fact that Everton fans surrounded Vieira should be 6 points. And I'm also going to say now the club should be fined £5 million. £5 million. Do it. No doubt there'll be some Everton fans sitting there saying and calling me, abusing me and that. I don't care. This is across the board. If this was a Leicester fan, I'd still be saying the same. An Arsenal fan, a Man United fan, a fucking Rochdale fan, a fucking Oldham fan, for Chris the Butcher. Whoever does this, a fucking person at work should feel protected and safe, not have this happening. And until we start dishing out punishment for these fucking idiots, this is going to go on and on and on, and it's going to get worse. So, £5 million, maximum 12 points fined, and then you fucking come down the list to what you think's right. I think this should have been £5 million fine, goading a player, 6 points this season. Done. The FA, the EFL have all got to start stepping up and taking this fucking shit serious. Because one day, Billy Sharp could have died. A headbutt shoved his nose up his fucking nose into his brain. He could have fucking died. How would he have paid his mortgage then, Biggs? This has got to start being taken seriously, and it's got to be sorted. Or we'll have fucking fences up around pitches again. We don't want that, do we? Don't want that.